There you go.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Office Mix by going to the Office Mix website, and it's mix.office.com. And you can also get there just by Googling Office Mix if you wanted to. So when you get to the website, there's several places that you can click to download Office Mix. There's more than there really needs to be, but they all do the same thing, so don't let it confuse you. And at this point, there's not really any reason to sign in. You don't have to sign in to get it. You can just click one of these options to download. So the main thing you want to know when you do go to install it, it will prompt you if you have it open, but just go ahead and have Microsoft PowerPoint closed because it won't install correctly if that's open. So I'm not going to click to download it because I've already got it, but it does walk you through it. And when you come to the website, I would encourage you to just kind of take a look around. You know, there's several examples of what some people have done with Office Mix. There's some tutorials and things like that. So, you know, spend a few minutes looking around at some of those and get an idea, you know, maybe spark some creativity there. So once we have it installed or downloaded, then we will go to our PowerPoint. And it doesn't matter what template you want to use. I mean, it's really just a plug-in for PowerPoint. So you can use a custom created template, or you could pick one of these templates that are already created. I'm going to go with wood type because it does not look like wood at all. It really looks like kind of metal or something. So I'll click create here. And I'm just going to go through this as if I was really, you know, doing kind of a PowerPoint. So we'll do Office Mix. And then in the subtitle, we'll name it Session 3. Okay, so if you look in the ribbon, everything looks exactly the same as it did before you installed Office Mix, but now you have this tab here titled Mix. Okay, so when you click on Mix, I'll just give you just a walkthrough of what all these do, and then we'll actually go through and apply every one of these. So the very first option that you have is, and Matthew, just if you have a question or whatever, just interrupt me because I'll just go keep rolling.
I mean, I'm hanging with you.
Okay, all right, good deal. So the first option here is slide recording, and we're going to do all of these, but I just want to go over them first. So slide recording would be, let's just I guess assume or pretend that you're doing some sort of a class, be it for 4-H, adult ag, FCS. It really does not matter, and a certain amount of people can't attend the class for whatever reason. So if you wanted to come in and do slide recording, so basically you would give the presentation and talk about each slide while it's being recorded. So then you could either send the people that couldn't make it to this training, you could send them a link, or you could also embed this in your website. Yesterday we had Shelley Barnes in Wilson County after our session did one and uploaded it to Facebook. So, you know, and you can even, and I would encourage you to do this. I don't know the stats. I haven't researched it, but I think just in logically thinking through it, you can record not just your voice as you're talking over each slide, but you can also have like somewhere down in the corner or in the top corner, a video of you. So something about when you're watching, you know, we've all taken online classes, I'm sure, where, you know, we can see the professor in the corner and when you see the person there talking about the slide, I guess it just feels like you're more engaged.
True.
So that, you know, that option is there, and we can, you know, I'll show you all of that, but that's a really cool feature. So the quizzes video apps, not sure why it's called that, but really what you're going to do here is insert quizzes, or you can insert polls. I got a cough. Hold on one second. Okay. So when we go there, there's a place where you can go and download. You know, when Office 2013 was released, there was an app store that came along just for Office products. So people have developed applications that just work with Office products. So that's a really cool feature there. And there's just two that I'll recommend. There's probably more, probably will be more, but these two are very similar and easy to work with. The screen recording, that's what I had trouble with yesterday. Hopefully everything's better today. The neat thing about this is I'm sure all of us have been in the situation where we have a video from YouTube or Vimeo or whatever it may be that we want to share with folks, but we're not really sure when we get to the location if we're going to have internet, or maybe we know in fact that we're not going to have internet. So you could record a YouTube player playing the video and then embed that into your website, or sorry, into your PowerPoint presentation. Now, there's some tricks with that you want to be aware of, and we'll talk about that. That's actually the first example we'll go through.
Like copyright and stuff and everything?
Well, not necessarily really that, but you're recording what your computer is doing. Okay, so you could also use screen recording. Let's say that you wanted to show people how to fill out the 600A form, just throwing something out there. You
Right.
could pull one up on your screen, do a screen recording, and then as you're filling out each box, you could talk about it. You know, you and I were talking about, you know, all the livestock shows. Some of those forms can be confusing to folks, so you could have, you know, a PDF up on your screen doing a screen recording and talking about, okay, in this box you're going to want to put, you know, the birth date of the calf, you know, or whatever it may be. So it's not just for recording videos, but when you are recording, it's recording what's happening on your screen. The audio, so in a YouTube video, the audio is coming out of your speakers, right?
Right.
The recording is going to record what's coming out of your speakers. So it's going to use the microphone on your computer. So if you're recording, and I found this out the hard way when I was playing, well, I was playing with this for a presentation I had to do in Knoxville, and I was trying to record a video, and my dog was playing with a bone in the background, and it seemed like she was just throwing it up and letting it come crash down on the hardwood floor. Um, and I didn't think much about it until I replayed the video, and you could hear the video's audio playing, and then you could hear my dog's bone hitting the floor. So it's, you know, it's going to record everything that's going on. So in that situation, you just want to kind of let it play and record, and maybe even walk away from the computer, or just be as quiet as you possibly can. So, but we'll work through that. The screenshot, that's nothing more than just a simple screenshot. So when you click on that, you can either insert screens or app, you know, screenshots of applications that you currently have open, or you can do a screen clipping and just do a small clipping of a small area of a screen. So
Kind of like the snipping tool.
yeah, it's exactly like the snipping tool. Yep.
Cool.
The insert video and audio, that's always been there. And basically what you would do there is insert a video clip or an audio clip from your computer. If you go to the insert tab, you have those same options right here, but you also have it in mix. There's no difference. It's going to do the same thing. So that's basically all the functionality. Then you have your preview, which you can take a look at your mix before you upload it. You are given, I don't know how much space that you're given, but I think it's quite a bit to upload mixes. And when you upload them, that's going to give you the opportunity to share it with a link. If you're doing quizzes and polls and things like that, you can look at the analytics on them. And then the next tab over is My Mixes, to where you can go. It'll take you to the website and allow you to view the mixes that you've uploaded. The export to video, export to SCORM, whatever that is, and publish to Office 365 video. We don't have those, or we're not using those. The export to video, I'm assuming that's going to just use the video player or the video compiler on your computer and make a video so that you could share it that way. So you may use that, but these other two I don't think we're going to use. They're talking about turning the Office 365 video part of our O365 account on, and what that would do is it would function kind of like an internal YouTube channel. But as of right now, as far as I know, that's turned off. And you can tell that Microsoft really wants people to know how to use this, because you can also click here to go to the same tutorials that we saw when we were here. So
is there a mix about mix? Is that
yeah, it's really, it's a mix about mix. So
okay.
yeah, it's like taking a picture of yourself looking in the mirror. So yeah, it's and then send the feedback, you know, and that's a lot of times we see something like this and we think there's no way that they're going to read anything that I send them, but they are. I did go and look around at some of the Microsoft chat forums about Office Mix, and they're responding. And one of the biggest downfalls to this whole thing, it's really neat, and I think you're going to like it, but the quizzes and the polls, when you put those in your PowerPoint and you upload them and share them, for people to submit data, they can take the quiz, but for that data to actually register in your analytics, they have to have a Microsoft account. So it doesn't have to be a professional account like what we have. It just has to be a Microsoft account. So if you have, let's say you got some 4-Hers or something like that you want to do some quizzes with. Sheldon over in Sequatchie County, he did a wildlife judging mix, and I was just going to have his wildlife team set up a Microsoft account so they could take the quiz and he could see the analytics. So you could coach people on how to set those up. It's not hard. All it needs an email address, and that's really it. So another password for them to keep up with, but hey, it could be worth it. So I wouldn't use, while it's powerful and it's neat, if you're looking to just collect polling data, like if it's in the context of a lesson that you're using the PowerPoint to teach, then I would say, go ahead and try to get those folks signed up so you can collect that data. If you're really just wanting to collect polling data or something like that, you may be better just going with like a Qualtrics or a Google Forms type survey or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then the last we have the help option. The last option here is Office Mix Update. I assume that when that is not grayed out, that means you have an update pending. So, all right, so we're ready to get started now. Any questions on any of this?
I still don't know what SCORM is, but that doesn't really matter. So.
Yeah, I don't either. So I could click it, but I'll wait to do that in case it just destroys everything. So I'm going to insert a new slide, just like as if I was really doing this presentation. And since this is going to be a video slide, I'm just going to do a blank one.
Okay.
So we've got our blank slide here, and you'll want to go ahead and key up whatever you're trying to do. So I'm going to go to YouTube. Because when you click the video capture, let's just do, Rutherford County. What do you say? All right, so I'll pause that. So when you click on the screen capture or the screen recording, it's going to immediately it's going to hide PowerPoint, and whatever's open underneath it is really all you're going to be able to access.
That's neat.
So if I click on screen recording, and this is going to work very much like the Snipping Tool does as well. You can see, or you may not be able to see, but the screen kind of goes, has a little white over tone to it.
And glaze kind of deal.
Yeah, you get this toolbar. So the first thing you would do would be to select area. We don't have to click that because since we just came from PowerPoint, my cursor has become crosshairs now, allowing me to draw the box around what I want to record. You can turn audio on or it's on by default. You can turn it off if you wanted to, or you can turn it on. And then the record pointer, you can turn that off. And what that does, if you were demoing some how to navigate a website or how to complete a form or something like that, you would obviously want the pointer on so they could see you navigating. Being that I'm recording a video here, when I hit record, I could move my mouse all over the area that it's recording, and it's not going to record the mouse. So that's what that is. So I'll leave that off. I'm going to draw my box here. And I don't know when this changed, but at some point, like as soon as I hit play and move my mouse off this YouTube channel or this YouTube video, the controls down here will go away. So that's not a big deal. But if you're recording a video from another site that has fixed controls at the bottom, then I would just draw your box to rest just above those fixed controls, because in your PowerPoint, it's going to have native controls there from PowerPoint, and this will just kind of be in the way. But so when I hit record, I'll have 3 seconds to come down here and press play. So it counts down. So I'll go ahead and do it, and we'll hope that it works this time. And so there we go. I'll let it go for a few seconds. And for one, there's no sound coming out of this video. Well, there is a little bit. But for two, I'm talking over it, so you're going to hear my voice. And when I'm done, so when you're done, you're ready to stop it, you just move your mouse over to the very top. Just kind of mouse over the very top, and you'll get this your drop-down panel here.
Mm-hmm.
And you just click stop. And let me go here and stop this. So now our video is embedded here into our PowerPoint presentation. We don't have to worry about internet access. We don't have to worry about anything like that. It's going to live here. We can change the view of this. We can add a border to it if we wanted to. We can resize it if we want to do that. We can make it bigger.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And that's, in the audio, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as you would think that it would be.
Right.
It's definitely a lot better than sitting there looking. And I've done it before where you're sitting there going, well, I guess we don't have internet, so I can't show you this video, and that's,
Yep.
so it's a lot better than that. And if I go to my mix and I click on preview, then you can see it playing there. And again, well, my native controls aren't working here. But they'll work in the PowerPoint. So, and it seems to be a little glitchy, but it's not bad. So I'll just hit escape there. And I think the preview is actually a lot worse than the actual view of it. Again, on this, you want to be cautious because you are inserting a video, and videos tend to be quite large as far as file size. So if you put it, like 6 or 7 videos in one PowerPoint, your PowerPoint's probably going to start getting pretty big. So just be aware of that.
Gotcha. That pointer tool you were mentioning when you were recording the video, you can turn your pointer on, pointer off. That could really come in handy with a judging video where you want to point out the defects or whatever it is in that animal. You like, look, there's not really levels from hooks to pins here. And
oh, absolutely, yeah. You could draw your box around here and have this playing, and then like pause it and say, look at the roundness of the back, stuff like that. So
that's great.
Are you still seeing my screen?
I am, yeah.
Okay. I don't see the green box around it, so I was concerned that I'd lost you.
No.
Okay, so that's the screen recording, and just because it's working today, I'll do another one here, and I'll just do there we go. I'll just do here.
This is great because I think Danny and I are gonna be putting together a livestock judging team, and this will be really good because we can pull videos from other judging websites rather than having to go and find them. We can just pull them all into one PowerPoint.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So I'm going to show you just the other option here. I'll go to this website I've been working on for a group of FCS agents here in the region, and we got just a little simple contact form here on the side. So let's say I want to show people how to, complete that form, even though this is a very simple form. So I'll click screen recording again. It's going to remember the size of the last box that I drew. So I'll just select another area and draw it around here. So when I hit record, I could go through and say, oh, I want to pause it and turn my record pointer on. So I can say, this is where you'd put your first name, and then, this is where you would put your last name. Obviously, this is a pretty silly example, but you get what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
And when we're done, so then you have that form, where you could embed that into a website and people could play, or into, so I keep saying website, into your PowerPoint and play it from there. So just another example. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is go into screenshot. I think you can probably figure this out, but we'll do it here. So screenshot. Oh. All right, so put your cursor where you want to put the screenshot. Again, go back into mix. Just to show you what this is, so if I click on the drop down and click click one of these open applications, it's going to actually, like, it would put a screen clipping of my email in there. Okay. Or I could do screenshot, screen clipping, and then again, you'll see there will be a white overlay, and then we can draw a box around whatever we want to put in there. And there, so it's just like the snip. Yeah, it's just like the snipping tool. So nothing new there. I'll insert another slide. And now we're going to do a quiz. Oh,
Quizoo.
yeah, quasi. So I'll put my cursor there where I want the quiz to go back into mix, and I'll click on the quizzes video apps. And you click on this, like when you first install Office Mix into your machine or onto your machine, you're not going to have anything here in the My Apps, or you probably won't have anything in the My Apps. But if you go to the store, then it'll give you recommendations for the quizzes and polls because that's where we are. There's also some other video apps that I really just have not played with. It may be worth taking a look at. A lot of these look like they're coding based. Python is a coding language, and then Code Hunt. So that'd be interesting. Maybe I could learn me something here. But the ones for the quizzes and polls, I went with the multiple choice quiz, multiple response poll. They're made by the same company. They look just alike. So they're easy to work with. So once you click to add those, you'll have to accept a licensing agreement or whatever. But once you've got those added, you go back into My Apps, and we'll start off just by adding a quiz here. And I really hope that Microsoft changes it to where you can have anonymous users complete the quiz, or at least force them to enter a name or something like that, because that would make this just exceptional.
And not have the Microsoft account requirement.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do a little bit of styling here. You can change the font size if you wanted to. Here's where you would type your question. So what day is it?
Wednesday.
And thank you.
Just for clarification.
Yeah. So if you wanted to add a hint, then you could click on the little light bulb thing, and it doesn't show up automatically. You can actually see if the person clicked on to view the hint or not. So
day before or day after Tuesday, day before Thursday.
Yeah. So yeah, you can type your hint in there. If you decide that you don't want a hint, then you can click the trash can button here and get rid of it. You can allow single choice only, allow multiple choice answers. You can shuffle the answers. So if you have a group of kids taking it, that may help, curtail a little bit of creative, networking when it comes to taking the quiz. So let's see, that shuffle, you can allow people to retry, and you can limit their attempts to however many you want. So
that's really neat. There's a lot of options in this thing.
So I'm going to do allow retry and do 2 attempts just so we can see what that looks like when we actually test it. So we'd insert our option 1 here. And if you didn't like an option, you could hit the trash can. You could also add comments if you wanted to, or feedback. I'll just throw that in there. I'll just type the same thing. I'm not feeling very creative this Wednesday.
Is it like feedback, like they could type feedback in? Like, I don't think this question is fair? Or?
No, it would be feedback from you. Like, if it was if it was the incorrect answer, like if it was, I don't know, you could add, you'll see what it does. So I'm just gonna Tuesday, and I'm not going to type any more feedback here. Add another one. Okay, so whichever response you want to be and you can delete feedback too if you wanted to. I'm going to just leave Tuesday and we'll check it out. So whichever one has the green check box or check mark is the correct one. So when you have it set the way you want, you can preview it, and it just kind of walks you through. So let's see here, I have 2 attempts remaining. I'll select the wrong one and press submit. I got that wrong, so I'll do the hint, and there's the hint. So I'll try Tuesday and press submit again, and there's the feedback that you would see. And I have 0 attempts remaining. I can't retry. Oh, wait, it's letting me retry because I'm testing it. So yeah, that's just a way to take a look at it. So you can't add multiple questions on one slide, so you'd actually want to do another slide and add a question. So I will go in and add a poll. Any questions on the quiz?
Oh no, that's really neat. There's a lot of I don't know. There's more detail there than I thought there would be.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities too. I really like it, and I really think that at some point they'll allow some anonymous, because they're really pushing this towards educators. So if you think folks at the while folks at the college level, you may be more apt to say go create a Microsoft account. High school, middle school age group like that. You want to make things as easy as possible. So, so anyway, I'll go and insert another slide. And we'll do a poll here.
Yeah, because like college students, they MTSU, they have a Microsoft Live account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most colleges do. I mean, I'd say most colleges are probably switching to Office 365. So yeah, they're going to have an account. The multiple response poll, it's just like the quiz. You just don't have as many options. You can change your font size. We can add our question here. I can't type. And then you would just put your options here. And unfortunately, their placeholder text doesn't go away when you start typing. Okay, so we can allow multiple choice selection here, or just single choice. Obviously, since it's a poll, you can't really select a correct answer.
Right.
If you wanted to delete one and redo it, you just hit the trash can. Again, pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. They select one and hit submit, and it's submitted, and then they would continue on to the next one. Since we're in the that was just the demo mode, it goes back, and plus it was the last slide. There's not anything to continue on to. So that's the poll and the quiz, man. Nothing really difficult about that. So the last thing we're going to do here is a slide recording. So I'll go and insert a new slide recorder, recording, and just put some bullet points here. Okay, so when we're ready to kind of voice over this thing, we'll go into our mix, select slide recording. So when we do that, then our slide shows up here. Over here on the right-hand side, video and audio setup. Now, I don't have any camera selected. The only camera that I have available right now is being occupied by Zoom. So it would, if I tried to pick a camera, it wouldn't work. But obviously, when you're doing this on your own, you wouldn't probably wouldn't be in a Zoom meeting or have your camera going on in a different way. So you could just click this drop down and select your camera, and then your or the camera will record you and place it onto your slide after you're done. You select your microphone that you want to use. The Plantronics, the one that was set, and you can see here as I'm talking, the microphone level is jumping, so you can see that I'm in the right one. We have inking options, so when we hit record, we can draw on it. So I'll just go ahead and hit record here. Okay, so the box is drawn around what it's recording. It's currently recording, so this is where you would talk about, the points that you're trying to make about this slide. You can use the pen tool to, strike through. You can get a trackpad or a stylus pad for your PC, or if you were using a tablet, you could use a stylus. But, you could write words on here. And it's hard to do with the mouse, and I don't know why I'm obsessed with days today, but so, you can do that, circle things, draw arrows, do some John Madden stuff here. So, all kinds of stuff. You can erase all of it. So when you're done, you just click stop. And then when you're done with this, you could go to a previous slide and record over that if you wanted to. But when you're done, you just click close. And when we go back to our presentation, you can see this little audio thing up here. That's this little icon. If you mouse over it, you get the option to play back, but that's indicating that it has some slide recording on it. Okay, so that's
how. Will the video be there too? If you did the video, would it pop up? And I mean, if you were recording video, like right now, it just shows audio.
Yeah.
Speaker button.
Oh no, if we that's odd. I think if we maybe go into preview. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear that or not. You probably can't.
No.
I'm trying to see if the draw. I can. It's playing back, but I want to see if the drawing shows up. Oh, it does. So yeah.
I can hear a little bit of it now.
Yeah. So yeah, that is pretty neat.
One question on that. So something applicable that you might use this for is maybe doing like a BQA training and go ahead and rather than you having to be there. I get a lot of one-off BQA trainings, but could you be recording your voice and then pause it while you maybe think about what you're saying or
Oh yeah, let me go back in here. I'll just insert another slide.
If you got to like redo it, like you messed up saying something, you want to go back and re-record it.
I don't know that you could necessarily do that, but you can record. I guess you probably could. Yeah, I mean, if we cut that out, if we just deleted it, then I'm sure that's what it would do. So,
If all else fails, you could just start from the beginning again. If you
yeah, you could
make sure you have some breaks in between.
Yeah, as you're switching from slide to slide.
Yeah.
So here in the slide recording, if I hit record, then I can pause that recording, think about what I want to say, look at some notes or whatever, and then go back in and just hit record. The only thing is you got to remember where you started off at, and things like, or what you were saying before you push pause.
Right.
So we recorded that. I'm going to just cut this and see. So it cut it there. It left the ink drawing on it. Let's do a preview here and see what that does.
If it just takes out the sound, you think?
Yeah, that may be what it, it just took the sound out. So yeah, I don't know that there's any way to remove, let's see, screen recording. Delete slide recording. Here we go. Yep. So delete slide recording, that removes that. Do you see where that was?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when we do that, then that gets rid of that slide recording. Okay.
Cool deal.
All right, so I'm gonna cut this slide out too, just to get rid of it. So that's all the options. When you have your mix ready, when you're ready to actually do something with it. Now, Shelly and I found out yesterday that you can email this. Like you could take this, save it on a computer, email it to me, and all the things that you had done in this, as long as I had Office Mix. I think you have to have Office Mix. We didn't, because she already had it. I didn't want to uninstall it to see, but one would assume that you'd have to have Office Mix to see everything. But you could send me this PowerPoint, and I could open it up and see what you had done. Okay, so you can share it that way. But the ultimate goal, I guess, for Office Mix is to upload it so you can have a link and stuff like that and share it with a bunch of people.
Right.
So when you're ready to go, then you just go into the Mix grouping here and go into upload. And when you click the upload, you get this side panel that opens up, and these steps just tells you what it's about to do. And then if you click next, it will start doing what it said it was going to do. You'll have to sign in 2 or 3 times here.
Oh, cool. So you can sign in with Facebook there. You don't necessarily have to have a Microsoft account to view the video.
Well, that would be worth, I never put 2 and 2 together because I just always skip past those authorization type sign-ins. But that would be worth trying. Definitely. I would love to know how that works out for you. For us, then we would want to use our UTK account.
Right.
But for your clients, then yeah, that may be a way to avoid that Microsoft account. So try that out, like, I don't know, as soon as you can or whenever you can, and let me know how that works out for you. I have not found any documentation online about what type of account or anything like that would work. I knew that a Microsoft account would be required, but if a Facebook account will do, then that could be a lot easier. Although a lot of our youth don't really use Facebook much, but anyway, so I'll click to sign in, work school account, and put my password in.
You can like post this video or send it in an email and a link to it. Because my thing was you could make this recording, but where do you store it at? You could put it in Dropbox, but then somebody else has to have Dropbox. But if you can upload it here and just log in with Facebook, and that's
well,
really...
it's even easier than that. So you're getting ahead of me. I know you're excited. Just calm down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So if this was updating a mix that you'd already been working on, then you could select, update an existing mix. Then you would select the mix that you wanted to update. I'm going to do this one as a new one. The enable playback on mobile devices, that's really neat. It takes a little bit longer for it to upload and to finish all the process. And if there are quizzes or polls or things like that, they won't be able to really take those on their mobile device, because what it does, it takes the PowerPoint presentation, looks at the length of each slide. Like if you talked over a slide for 3 minutes, that slide length is going to be 3 minutes. If it doesn't have any kind of length to it, I think it defaults to about 5 or 10 seconds or something. So it just makes a video so that when people are looking at it on their phones or tablets, it would just play like a video. Okay, so it has some functionality that could work, but if you need people to, if you want people to have control of how they progress through the slides, or to take a poll or a quiz that's on the slide, then you're going to want them to do it on a PC. So, but I'm not going to check this right now because it does take a little bit longer. But you can definitely check that and test it out for yourself and see what I'm talking about. So when you're ready to go, just click next. This one should go pretty quick. And after it uploads, it's going to redirect us to the Office Mix website. As soon as it gets done, it takes us to the main page for the mix where we give it a title, set the permission levels, and then we can also get a link there that we would send out to anybody that we wanted to view it. Or we can get the code to embed it to our websites or whatever you want to do. You can also share it with social media from there. So it's taking a little bit longer than I expected here.
It's hung up on 68.
Yeah. It surely will go through. I got faith.
You go through and edit this video, right, and move forward like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I'm going to insert some Jeopardy music here. Or?
Yeah, I should. Just some good old elevator music. Yeah, it usually doesn't take that long, but it is the more stuff you have in the PowerPoint, the longer it is going to take. So when it does finally finish, you can click on the Show Me My Mix, and it's going to take you back to the Office Mix website. Well, after you log in, of course. So here's my mix. You could play it, preview it here, give it a title. Session 3. Give it a description here. You can even pick categories. And like anything else, when you're first starting out, tagging doesn't seem like it's a necessary component, but as you get 15 or 20 of these things up here, tagging may kind of help you find them a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tag them. Your permissions and sharing, you just have a slider bar here. If you have it all the way to the left, then it's set to private. So that means only you can view it. If you slide it one over, then anybody within our organization can view it. Then one more, anyone with a link must sign in to view it. So, again, that's a question. Like if I click the more info, and I'll just show you what this takes me to, it doesn't really tell me anything with, about sign in. It just, anyone with a link, or only people in your organization, and then anyone with a link to your mix can view it after they sign in. But sign into what? Can they sign in? Can they use the Facebook authorization sign in? Does that work? Is that essentially setting them up a Microsoft account when they sign in that way? Which I think is probably what's happening. But either way, or you can go anyone with a link. So anybody you send this link to will be able to view it. And then all the way to the right is everyone can search for and view your mix, and it may appear in the gallery. So you can also check the box here that would allow people under the Creative Commons license to modify and share your mix however they wanted to. So, if that's something that interests you, you could check that. By default, it's not checked. I'm going to bump this back down to just anybody with a link. So after you have all that done, then you'll click Save. And just a few seconds, maybe everybody's using Office Mix today. That's what the problem is.
Maybe Wednesday isn't hump day, it's office mix day.
That's right. Everybody's figured out office mix today, and they're just creating mixes. They're mixing mixes.
So the Creative Commons thing is very similar to, like, if you were to, like, Google search an image and you want to use that image, you have to make sure that it's free and to share and use, modify commercially or whatever.
Yep, that's exactly right.
All right.
So once you have it saved, you can either copy this and email it yourself. You can click the email icon from here. You can click share and send it out among your social media outlets. And then the embed, that gives you the code to actually embed this onto your county website. If that's something you want to do and you couldn't figure that out, I'd be glad to help you with that.
That's great.
But when you're done with all this and you've sent it out, you go to My Mixes, and this is where you're going to see all of your mixes. So I sent, obviously nothing's happened on the one I just did, and the one I did yesterday, no one really went to and accessed, but I have 6 people access the one that I did on Monday. So if you, with your mixes listed here, if you click the details tab, then that just takes you back here. So you could adjust the title, adjust the sharing options, things like that. I'll go back a step. The analytics, this is where you can look and see, okay, I had one visitor with one view and they spent 1 second on this slide. So this is where you could look and kind of, if you had a group of 4-Hers or something and the slide was 4 minutes and they spent an average of 2 minutes on the slide, you can say, all right, guys, why are you not watching the whole thing?
Right.
So, and I didn't mean to go to this one. I meant to go to this one.
So that's neat, though, because you can report that in Super.
Oh, yeah. So you can see here 2 visitors with 4 views. So yeah, you can see how much time was spent. And then when you get to items that are like quizzes, you can, like this one, what is your favorite ice cream? If I click on that, then you can see the 2 people that took the quiz when they're signed in. I can see, I had 2 views. Sheila had 1 view. The answer we picked was cookie dough. That was the correct answer out of 1 attempt, and we did not use the hint to get that correct answer.
Was that a hard question for you there, Brad?
It's very,
seconds to.
It's very difficult. Had to weigh out my options. I almost went peanut butter, but I was like, I better not do that. And then the poll is kind of the same way. So you just see who took the poll, the answer they gave, the views, and then the time they spent. I had a difficult time trying to decide black or red here. So, some pretty neat stuff. You can export, I go back, you can export all this information out to Excel and then create some, tables and charts and graphs and things like that. So, yeah, man, really cool. And let me show you what it looks like when people view it. So if I view this, and I'm viewing it from a desktop, so I have the ability here to navigate at my own speed. I can go through it really fast if I wanted to, or I could, go back a step. So that's what's neat about doing it here on the PC, is that folks can kind of go at their own pace. If you did the and I can even add a comment here if I wanted to. You can have a little discussion board going if you wanted to do that. But if you had it view, or if people were viewing it on the mobile devices, they wouldn't have this opportunity to navigate, to the previous slide or skip to the next slide or anything like that. So
those markers there, I mean, that's when you hit the skip button, you're skipping the slide no matter what the length was that you were talking about.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I start off at the first slide, so if I'm here and I skip the entire slide. Yeah.
Okay.
So like this marker, that indicates how long this slide is.
Right.
Yeah. So, yep. So yeah, that's Office Mix, man.
That's really, really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a cool plugin. There's a lot of potential on this. We were even talking on Monday that, let's say a specialist in Knoxville wanted to create a mix that, right now, like when I was doing Master Beef, and I assume it's the same way, I would go download the slides from, a SharePoint website. They would have slide notes, but some of it was still kind of like, okay, I don't really, I don't feel comfortable enough giving this slide deck myself. So then you call somebody to come and do it. If a specialist that created that slide deck actually did a mix that explained what they were saying and, or, you know, what they were trying to get a point with each slide and things like that, that could be very valuable for like a train the trainer kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So if you're able to hear them give it, then you could go and you know, give it yourself. So, and I'll show you just because she took the time to do it. Here, let me log into Facebook and show you what Shelly had done. Let's see. So yeah, she uploaded it to Facebook, and when you click on it, it just takes you to, you know, the office mix, and so there it is.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it is really neat. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what you can do with it. Like I said, Sheldon already did one for his wildlife judging. He had, you know, there were sounds of like birds or something, and so he'd have those audio clips on the slide, and then the next one would be, you know, would ask the question, what type of animal was this or whatever. And of course, the answers I gave were a bird because I have no idea.
That's really, really neat. I mean, that truly, Brad, this could be a really big thing. I don't